Today we are going to be discussing the topic of freedom versus structure. Now this is where we truly start to get into the more enjoyable parts of training. This is where you will start to see how the strict and consistent expectations that we've set with your dog are beginning to pay off. Remember, nothing is forever, but we do really need to take some steps back to create a true foundation. We're going to talk about how consistent structure can start giving your dog more freedom in their daily life while still maintaining control and communication.
Yeah, exactly. And you've worked so hard to set those rules and expectations, and now you're going to start to see the results. We've talked in depth about the follow command and how that command is a strict walking command where your dog needs to be walking next to you without getting distracted, and you're not allowing them to sniff the grass and they can't wander off. And the goal with the follow is obviously control and focus.
But while follow is all about control, the loose leash walk is more of a mental skill than a physical one. The loose leash walk teaches your dog to stay calm and focused, walking next to you with no tension on the leash. This skill is key because once your dog actually has mastered it, it opens the possibility of giving them true freedom.
Yeah, that's right. And the loose leash walk isn't meant to be a form of physical exercise. Like if you have an active dog breed, making them stay at your pace and walking them around, like you can't do that enough to actually satisfy their genetic need to run and have that freedom. But it is all about teaching the dog to mentally have the discipline to walk next to you, which serves as the foundation for giving them the freedom to run and play later. So think of it like this: the follow is strict, but once they understand those rules and they respect those rules, you can now take your dog to the park and give them the freedom to run and play and chase their ball, and then know that they'll still respect those boundaries you have set.
And this is where the balance truly comes in. The structured follow is essential for any freedom to eventually take place. Without that structure, we can't really trust that the dog will be calm and controlled during those off-leash activities, like fetch or trail walks. So we can't have those fun, free moments if our dog hasn't learned how to walk calmly and respectfully by our side on a leash first.
Absolutely. And when you're giving the dog that freedom, it's really important to remember that there's still rules in place. And so this is where we reinforce that freedom with structure mentality. Kind of sounds contradicting, but even when your dog is off leash at the park, we are still very much in charge of conditioning their mindset and not letting them get to a place of over-arousal.
For example, let's say your dog is on a break at the park and starts digging holes, barking at other dogs, and just generally getting really overstimulated. Even though they're enjoying their freedom, we still have the power to step in and bring them back towards neutrality. If they're starting to climb that arousal curve, we can bring them back down using obedience commands like sit or place to reestablish calmness and focus. Think of it kind of like a playground monitor for a bunch of kids at recess. Generally, they're able to just have that free time, they're playing, hanging out, but there are still rules. We can't throw rocks, we can't swear, we can't push kids off the swing. So they're enjoying freedom, but there's still some structure and rules being applied.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key is that the structure never goes away. They're never going to get to a point where there's just no rules and you can do whatever you want. So the boundaries that you've set still apply, even when your dog is enjoying that freedom. And you are always in charge of conditioning their mindset and maintaining that balance between allowing them to be free and ensuring that they are in a calm, manageable state.
We have a rule that we really like to teach owners that goes, if you can control it, you can allow it. This means there are certain behaviors that will not just single-handedly erode all of the training, but you really have to be honest and reflect on your ability if you can actually control the behavior or not. So you have to be a little bit, introspective and truthful with yourself.
And just as an example, we let our 6-year-old Wisla chase squirrels and chase deer. And we allow him to chase the squirrels if we're in the environment that behavior is appropriate. And because we can control it and turn it off in an instant if we need to for any reason. So we don't allow him to chase squirrels if we're out at a public restaurant that has trees. That's not appropriate. But when we're at the park and he's locked in on one, we entice him. Hey, go get it, buddy. Because if we need to, stop, come, get back here, he will stop right away. If he chases it towards a street or to an unsafe environment or situation, we have the ability to turn that off. And so we want your dog to be able to be a dog as long as that doesn't have second and third order effects that are going to negatively impact your goals or you and your dog's safety. And so this concept can be really hard to reflect on, but it's crucial to self-reflect to understand, if that freedom is too much for your dog.
And I think it's important to note that when we do let our dog Rooster chase squirrels or deer, like during an off-leash trail walk, it's not just for our amusement as like the human owners. This is like as a dog team leader, understanding that he is a bird hunting breed. He needs those instincts to be fulfilled in some way consistently throughout the year. And because of the training that we have done, we are able to control this type of freedom that we give him. So I think that was just important to note, that it's not just egging him on for the fun of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So to recap, once you've established the structure and consistency with your dog through commands like follow, you can begin to give them true freedom. Freedom to enjoy off-leash activities, explore, play, and just like truly be a dog. But remember, even in moments of freedom, there are still rules. You're in charge of conditioning their mindset, and you can also bring them back to neutrality using obedience commands if things start to kind of get out of control, or you see that your dog is getting overstimulated or breaking the rules.
Yeah, and so the relationship you're building with your dog, it's all about balance, as we've said many times. And structure gives you the foundation for freedom. They are related. And once your dog understands the structure, you'll be able to enjoy all the stuff that we want to do with our dogs, the enriching and rewarding experiences together. So freedom with structure leads to that more connected and well-behaved dog. And remember, if you can control it, then you can allow it.
Good luck. We'll see you in the next video.